Hello, hello, it's me, Cynthia, and Marty Balbun, and Azalea Bell Ogden behind the
Hi.
camera. And we are Greengirlstudios, and this is our Wednesday edition of Magic Hour. And today we are going to look at what the knotting that I completed on Sunday with our latest Lucky Dip, the Tide Pool Lucky Dip, and in that version of the pebbles that we were putting together from my collection, my stash. I have a lot of pebbles in my collection, and I kept a bunch because I like them. I like them a lot. Here's a necklace I made a long time ago, and I added this piece here. And no surprise, Azalea, can you what it is without even looking up?
Labrador
How did you know?
addiction.
It's okay. It's okay to have that
It's an
addiction.
addiction.
Yeah, so we were visiting with Jen and Liz over at Cherry Tree, and I was like, "Hey Jen, can you ever have too much Labradorite?" And she was like, "Shut your mouth. You could
Well,
never have enough Labradorite." And that's what I said. I said it goes with everything because. And then Azalea, she was rolling her eyes because she said, because she's known ever since she was born, that I love the grayish rainbow. Like I love it. Like I made a doll wig
that looked
and
just like
it looked
Labradorite.
just like Labradorite.
I
Because
don't
it
hate
was,
Labradorite. Everybody's gonna think that I hate it.
She
I don't
doesn't
hate it.
it. But
I don't even dislike it. I think it's pretty sometimes. I just think my mom has just so much of it,
I do have
and
a
she
lot of
keeps
it.
getting more of it,
I don't get tired of it.
and it's
Well,
like sitting a little bit.
sometimes it sits, but I will say, when you like something, that's just how it is. So anyway, I made this with a strand. This is an old strand, and you can tell it's not even that great of a quality of Labradorite. But I wore this one for a long time, and you know what? It's still holding strong. You can see that it has. Look at that connection. I can't believe that's still. It's basically softlex with a hole through the end of this leather. Now I look at it, I'm like, ugh, what was I doing? And then look at this is how I did it so it's adjustable. And then I had some carved labradorite on the end of it. It's like that. And so to adjust it, you just go like this. You just pull this part down. And it's kind of stiff because this is kind of some stiff leather. Well, it's not as adjustable as it used to be. But anyway, and then I did a little leather bail and added that heart. That came much later. Used to be, this didn't have anything on it. It was just a layering piece. Oh, Karen says, welcome back, Azalea. Probably everybody is
Hi.
like, oh, thank goodness Azalea's back.
Fix the technical
Fix
difficulties.
the technical difficulties. I made it too tight. You see, I adjusted it, made it tight. Oh, hello, Cecilia. Hello, Jeanette. Hello, Tina. Melanie. Hello, my friends. Cutie Pie Marty. He's tired. He's been active all day doing,
No, he has not. He's been on that stool for hours sleeping. He's
he
barely
does sleep
moved.
on it, and he does observe and oversee what I'm doing.
Such hard
and
work.
What I'm eating. See, I'm leaning back like this. He can easily tap my arm and say, hey, what are we enjoying, Mama?
What are we eating?
What are we eating?
What are we having?
What are we having? Connie's here. Hello, Connie. Connie's our neighbor up the road. And I mean that like up the road here in Asheville. We see each other at shows. And, some places, I think I ran into Connie somewhere, or I ran into Connie's stuff. Connie makes things and sets up at various locations. One in Hendersonville. I can't think the name of the place. Connie, drop it where you are. It's something I can't think the name of the art. What do you call those places? It's not an antique mall. It's like an art mall. Where each artist gets a booth and then you do what you want in your booth. We're on the hunt for a nice booth location. It's not easy around here, I'll tell you that much. I have hesitation to want to load my stuff up in the River Arts District. I don't much feel like doing that. I know that people say it's like 100-year flood. But I'm like, what's to stop it from being next week? They've been hit again. Emporium on Main Street. Thank you, Connie. It's a pretty cute place. If you're in Hendersonville, you can hit Emporium on Main and then swing by the free museum, Mineral Museum. I am a member of the Mineral Society, and I go over there on Wednesdays. Although I didn't go today because, well, I stayed up too late and I didn't get up early enough. And so that's what happened with that. Yeah, because I was working on a painting, and sometimes, I don't know if this happens to y'all, but sometimes I get fixated or hyper focused, and then I can't do anything else. It's all that matters. I don't know. It's just the way it is. I go through stages, you know. Oh, Connie said she was in there this week. Well, I was there last week. I stopped by. Hendersonville is pretty cute. I often think to myself, I like this town, especially since they just opened the Augusta bike trails. The first 6 miles is done, and it'll be connecting Hendersonville and Brevard, which is where you see a lot of
The waterfalls.
waterfalls. So this on Sunday, I knotted this on fine, what you call it,
That dip
Ceylon.
is so good.
Hmm?
That Lucky Dip, the tide pools, it's so good.
I
Just with that,
know.
and you just poured out a random one. And
I
used
just
it.
poured out, yeah, this is one of them. And I would have even thought that this one, I was looking at it and I was like, I don't know if this one has as much juicy as some of the other ones. I'll pour out another one. We have like 8 left.
Did you have one that you kept for yourself that I removed from the website? Because we don't want to sell something we don't have.
I don't know. Did you? Because there's one that I thought you did.
Well, I must have.
You must have, because
We'll
we
find
worked
out.
with it. No, well, I think you did because we poured them out and checked it. So, oh, the Mineral Museum. Oh, I see a comment from Cecilia. Cecilia received her order, and what a wonderful package! The beads were out of this world, and a new home for a doll.
Yeah, she bought one of my
wonderful.
dolls.
Love it.
Thank you, Cecilia.
Thank you, Cecilia. Carolyn can't wait to get hers. Azalea's been filling orders like crazy.
Yeah, since I hit the ground running when I got home.
Yeah, she's been nonstop. Speaking of orders, so I want to mention, I had a friend of mine talk to me a little bit about some of my business practices and as cheap as possible. So it's so cheap. Let me just say this so that it's not like you guys don't think I'm a little bit wackadoodle when I'm telling it. I haven't been charging for like my packaging and paying Azalea. I thought I'll just keep this. I will eat this amount because it's a small amount. And ever since like the pandemic, we're really trying to get as many orders coming in because orders were, like we were struggling for a while. And now that things have picked back up, I kept my prices as low as we could get away with. I mean, barely like above. And I think, my friend was like, do you really need to just be on kind of like just like keeping your head right above like maybe give yourself a tiny bit more so you're not always just sort of like right at the point where you're like, are we going to make any money? But I never want to mark, like, I don't know. I've been told many times, they're like, you should just charge more. And I struggle with that. I don't know about anybody else, but it's really hard because ultimately my firm was like, you know what? You personally are not your own customer because you're not, you're buying at a different, you're buying to resell. That's my stuff a lot. I keep my prices as competitive as is physically possible, right? And I like that. I like it. Part of me, though, I've been trying to make some things that are, and I'm like really sitting in my discomfort right now of even talking about this. But it's really, made it so that I'm driven now to make my finished jewelry line my more higher end things. And I invested in gold, and buying an ounce of gold was pretty terrifying. And just trying to just kind of like move up into the world. And so there were some moments where we're gonna have to raise some prices on just the shipping and maybe, just make it where it's a little like we can actually kind of take some
I
time
can.
off. So like we're not working round the clock continuously just to
Well, I
survive.
can explain this since I do the shipping. We calculated it today, and I even Googled. Sometimes when you buy something online, they'll say like, "Oh, here's a shipping and handling charge," and like especially if you buy something from like a venue when they're doing like a show or like a performance or something, and you want to buy merch, there's always a shipping and handling fee that's kind of outrageous.
Yeah,
So I Googled some stuff and, I took some advice and I decided that tacking on $3 for shipping materials and time would be reasonable. So now, you know, if you place an order on our website, instead of it saying the shipping, to anybody, it's going to be in the $4 to $5 range, and now it says like 7 for Ground Advantage, and that's actually pretty standard shipping because this whole time we've been shipping, we've been charging our cost on shipping charges. So Shopify, the plan that we have, Shopify discounts it, and it says, oh, it should be 7 something dollars, but because you have a special Shopify plan, we're only going to charge you $4.80, and that's how much we've been charging for our shipping. So I just tacked on a small amount shipping and handling charge. It doesn't even show up on the thing. It just says, okay, here's your shipping, $7. It doesn't even label shipping and handling. But I figured that would probably be okay and fair because we do use, like, I don't put stuff in. I don't ship stuff, first class $1.29 shipping with a Ziploc bag. We use the nice quality plastic bags, the nice quality star bags, and the bubble mailers and all of the other stuff that I put in it to make sure that your package arrives safely. So, it's just to cover time and expense, and it's just a small change, but that's all. And I do actually still occasionally combine orders. But if somebody would like for me to combine their order, and you've ever had a package get stolen or go missing, please tell me that first, because we don't want to have another loss as traumatic as our recent one.
Okay, I'm trying to just organize this. There we go. Sorry about that. Well, hopefully that explains some of that. Karen says, I always thought your shipping was ridiculously low. That's because we were charging
our cost,
our shipping cost
literal
without,
cost,
and I was just covering the shipping supplies. And I just hope that people, can understand that. It's just so, I know it's like traumatizing to even talk about.
It's not so bad. People understand. I mean, look, a lot of places will charge you a good amount of money for shipping. Well, I bought something recently that, my shipping came to $8, and it was a very small item in a very small package and was not even like fancily packaged either. So people are very comfortable with charging extra, and that they're using Shopify as well. So they're getting that discount. So there's another $4 that they're getting to cover all of their shipping costs and their time that it costs to package it. So I calculated everything, and $3 to me seems like a good, reasonable
to cover. Like
it is. Yeah, it's not greedy at all. We never are though.
I don't think it's
we charge like bare minimum.
So this is what's in one of the other ones of the Lucky Dip. This is the remainder here of what I made from a previous necklace. That's in the car. I was taking pictures of it for Instagram, and if you want to see the finished one, I just posted on Facebook. Where did I put? Oh, so it's on Facebook and Instagram if you want to see the other necklace that I made with this kit.
Look at this
right
yarn
here. Ooh,
do you want to show it? This is yarn from, I believe it was Debbie Myers that sent it to me.
Our friend Debbie Myers sent this beautiful yarn to Azalea, and I believe it's sweater amount.
Yeah, she sent a lot.
I know.
It's beautiful. It's got glitter in it.
What's this? What are you making? You making a doll sweater? What's going on here?
It's I'll finish it in front of you so you haven't seen it, but it's a shirt that I've started.
Oh, a shirt.
Look at the yarn in the cake.
Look at the cake here.
Yeah. It's got glitter in it, but like the soft
it's like an opal.
I saved the oil slick for you.
Oh God.
How you like it.
I want to I want a sweater with this. What beautiful stitches is that? They're all exactly the same.
Very kind gift.
That's a nice gift right there. Thank you,
One
Debbie.
of the best. Thank you, Debbie. If she's watching right now, thank you, Debbie.
I appreciate you.
Haven't
Debbie.
seen her name in a minute, but I'm sure she'll find out. I think I obviously sent her a message.
Put it in the Facebook group because I think Debbie. I thought I saw Debbie's name in the Facebook group.
Thanks.
Let me ask, friends, if y'all would be show me that ring again.
What?
That ring you're wearing. Oh. So I'm thinking of sending this to have made. Oh, not this one. There's a different one. This is a first version. So I've made several versions of this ring. This is a knitting ring, and I'll show you. Look at, see, this is a little thick. It's really hard to adjust. So I made, this is the next version, a little more streamlined and nothing to get caught. Here I had a little bit of moment of where things are getting caught. And so this fits right at your fingertip. And I was thinking about having this made in Greece because you can have it in different finishes, different plate. How do you guys feel about that? Are there knitters or crocheters out there? I made this to, I don't know if anybody saw it when I got that big old, that was in the crease of my hand. I wonder if I could put that there.
Tension ring is good.
It's like tension ring.
Your finger from the thread when you
I wonder if it'd be good for knotting if I did that. Put it on the other side, maybe. Yeah. But anyway, if there's any, what do y'all think? Would anybody be interested in that?
Hey,
Connie says you're going in and out. Let me check. I forgot to ask.
Yeah, we're probably good now. How is it now, you guys? Sometimes it happens. It's the weather also.
Yeah,
It looks like it's been smooth so far. So.
All right, so that lucky dip, this is what's in this one. This version has heavier on.
We only have a few left of the Tide Pools nuggets. Look at that giant ruby that just popped out on the top.
Right on top.
There's actually a couple I see in here.
There's another one.
It's discounted right now, so I just dropped a link in the chat to that, and we only have a couple left, and once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, I don't have any more of these beads.
It's discounted for the last few to kind of clear the stock out.
Mm-hmm. We're working on now. I'm gathering up the stock for that mala dip that I managed to find some really gorgeous, like specimen grade, not specimen grade, that's the wrong word, but like more mineral, like Mineral Society people would get it. Like they're like, I don't know how to describe that. Let me just show it. What am I doing here? Just a little bit of serpentine, turquoise, rubies, and zozite, kyanite, aquaterra, carved labradorite, chocolate moonstone. Yeah, I think it's down to $40 right now. So this is a good time to buy that. There's only like a few left. So, and so far I've gotten this necklace and that necklace that was on Instagram, and this is what's left. So that's what is left out of that pile of goodness. So I'm showing this because there's a couple different ways you can finish this guy. All right, so one way is like this. Where'd it go? Oh, I put it on. Okay. So you could put leather. This is like the Sundance version if you want to like make it so it's, say you don't like to have beads around your neck for whatever reason, or like little anything around, you can always do silk fabric or something that you can attach. Now I don't do this kind of closure anymore because that's I don't know, but I'm more advanced. This is an old necklace. This is from probably before Azalea was born, except I added this recently within the last like 2 years maybe. And just the labradorite and leather itself, and I just wore it like a layering necklace. And it was fine, and this was very comfortable. You can do that. But one thing that I started to do is making the loops with, that modular technique where you have like some seed beads around this area. See, I had some sitting here that I was using last week. Or you could put gemstone. They have that are pretty well drilled, and you can load this end. I cut, but see how I left it long? The reason I leave it long, after I cut this, I left like, what was it, a foot, about a foot. It's not taped right now, or I mean, not taped, glued with, where is it? I just had it. It was just sitting right here. Must be under my. You see that thing of freight check? It was like right in front of my eyes a few seconds ago. There's so much stuff on the table, though. Oh, here it is, right? If it were a snake, it'd bit me. This is freight check by Dritz. And usually there's a big thing on it that says this is
Not eye drops.
not eye drops, because it's, I guess they share the container with eye drops. But I'm going to use my bag that I used last time. I'm going to show you. So one side was already made into the needle. And so I'll just leave that alone. No reason to mess with it. So I'm going to do the other side right now. And I'll let it dry while I work on one. So you just need a dab. You could use your fingers. I usually use my fingers. But I'm not going to do that today. Because I'm going to keep my hands a little more tidy than I usually do. And so this just makes it easier. So I'm going to take that and run it through the glue here. And this will keep your hands from getting gluey. And then you don't have to do the whole thing. But just run it through a few times and kind of make sure it's getting some. And then it's like it just blends in with a bag. I'm going to let that side dangle off the edge of the table and let it make a needle. And sometimes you got to go over it a couple times, but with that, I don't need it to be super stiff. All I needed to do is so that I can put on some seed beads. I found these guys. Where did I find this? This is old. This is from Fusion Beads, but I got it at the Center of Aging over in Etowah. But these are kind of cool. They have a neat shape. I can't remember the name of. Oh, here it is. It doesn't really say. They're like triangular shaped. Those are good. These are my favorites, though. I got these a long time ago from, I can't think of his name, but I always just called him Cowboy because he wore a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and he's pretty much, he looked like a cowboy. So anyway, look how pretty those are. They have like a gunmetal. I don't know. They might be old. They might be. I know these are old. And you know what these are good for? This is good for the project that right here. You can just use them. This is like I have them. Now, if you do seed bead weaving, they are not, the holes on them can be a little bit different. Like some of them are kind of squeezed shut. I have to put my glasses on for this. And some of them are longer, shorter. They're all a little bit different. See, check that out. They're all a little bit, they aren't standardized like you can get with some of the ones from Japan. And those are a lot easier to string too. Like these kind of, sometimes they're old and they're not as easy. I mean, this is pretty easy, but look here. I don't know if that's even in focus. But see how they're like, if you can see, some are short, some are long, and this is from the same hank. Oh, Wendy's joining us. Hey, Wendy. We are working on, if you're just joining us, we are finishing off this necklace that I made a couple days ago with the Lucky Tide Pool blend. And I'm going to finish this up real fast, or at least one side, just to show how it looks. And different ways you can finish it, because that's kind of, the, I mean, I wouldn't say that's the fun part. It's my least favorite part of making jewelry, because I don't like to mess around with, I just want to be done and I want to wear it. So it is particularly, I feel like it's hard for me. I have my necklace pile that is to do is pretty big. I have a lot of necklaces to finish. And I have a couple on my repairs. And sometimes it's hard to get into that when you have to do a repair. It's like takes all my energy to do it. But it can be kind of fun to fix something. I broke one of these necklaces the other day, and I was pretty disgusted. It was like one of my oldest ones, and I leaned down, and then I got up really fast. You ever do that? And I got it hooked on the edge of a chair. Ugh, and I could hear it snap. Oh, I was just so disgusted. I had it for like, I don't even know how many years. I think that looks pretty good. Now, another thing, and I've done this a few times too, is you can put a button on the other end if you want to make it modular. So this would be choker length, I think. To me, anyway, it's choker length. It's not technically choker is like high up on the neck, but if it's even close to my neckline, then it's choker. I look at that as it's choker. Generally, I can't even deal with like turtlenecks, but it depends on the turtleneck, really. Yeah, see, some of them, and this is the same bead, but look how much bigger. This is good for this project, but sometimes it's not good for like, I use some of these beads with some bead weaving, and I tell you, it was so wonky. And I got so much advice from my weaver friends were like, so have you considered using, they're trying so hard to help me. I was like, I know. They're like, get these bars. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I have to decide here how big I want my loop. And I'm going to do it like this, where we'll just pretend like this is the leather I'm going to use. I'm going to find something else. I probably don't even have any more of this leather at this point. This is a long time ago. I've kind of gotten away from using leather, if I'm being real. It's convenient, like to do this. Like you're like, oh, that looks good. But I've had leather break, so I am not as I don't love it as much as I love other things. Like I like silk even more. Like if that was a little bit like I have some silk I could use. Like if you have silk fabric, you could make your own. I know that sounds like crazy talk, but I've made it before when I had bits of like a yard. Actually, it wasn't like a complete yard. I think it was a half a yard. It was really pretty silk. And I cut it into ribbons, like a few ribbons, and then it wasn't even hemmed. And it was actually surprisingly looked good. All right, so that looks long enough. I don't need it to make a great big old long loop. So let's see. You can use a spacer, maybe, or a bead cover. Let's just knot it and see what happens. Oh, hello, Anne. Our friend Anne Gardan is joining us. Anne makes beautiful enameled not head pins, bead caps, beads, pendants. Beautiful work. Anne's mostly on Facebook, though. Anne, I don't think you have a website. Or maybe you do have a website. If you have a website, you can go ahead and drop it and let people see what kind of goodies you make. But if you've been following along for the last, couple of months at least, Anne made the bead caps that I need to get up in there tighter so you guys can see what I'm doing. I've been talking and not really paying full attention to what I'm doing. So I just made that loop. So if you do that, you can get a pair of tweezers and make it tighter. I hate a loose loop. You could knot between each one of those and it's a little sturdier. But it gives it a different look. When you knot it, there's space between it and it doesn't have this sort of like paved look. Okay, that little knot there. Now, if you have a little bit of a gap, you can easily fix that by putting a bead cover on top of it, or a crimp cover, I mean. So I just made one overhand knot to secure it to the base of the necklace, and I'm doing one more. Tighten it up. Okay, so that's what I have so far. And then I can choose my own adventure at this point. Do I need a bead cover? Let's see. I think that looks pretty good. But I always think it looks a little bit more finished. You could always put a crimp it. If that's your jam, you can crimp that thing. Put a little drop of glue. I'll think about it. This side should be done. So I could put a button on this and make it a choker, right? So that part would be complete. If I made this and it's just like right, I don't know about choker, but really high. Like, I think this is like, how many inches is this? Let me see. You gotta, let me see. Let's see, we'll measure it by the inches by this, but we'll count it by fours. 15-inch. So I think of 15 inches being choker time. It fits my neck. This adds a little bit extra. And if I put a clasp on it, that is like right tight on my neck. So I'm probably not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make another loop on the other side. And then I'm going to add either my collection. Some silk ribbon. Let's see. Oh, God, this was good times. I used to be able, you can't buy this anymore. If you want this nowadays, you got to make it yourself, drag. But if you could feel this, this feels wonderful. And this used to be made by my friend UT. She's German. And she's so cute. Her car, she has a little yellow Volkswagen Beetle. It said her license plate was UT Cutie. Isn't that adorable? She was so cute. Gotta look her up and see what she's doing now. But this is too thick. So what I'm making is like kind of a lasso. That's too thick. Let's see what else I have here. What would be a good match? Ann says, new big cartel shop. Need to get Gardan Enamel BigCartel.com and the Etsy. I didn't know you had an Etsy shop. And Gardan Handcrafted Enamel is the Facebook group. So y'all join Ann's group so you can take part in her trunk shows. Sounds like a good time. This brown one might be good. And it's thin like the leather. You could also use silver silk. I got a hair clip holding these guys. That's my solution to things, hair clip. Perfect. So I think I'm going to use this brown one. I think that would work pretty well. It's like, why is this one so flipping long? It's like super long. It's like the longest one in the whole world. It's like, how long is this?
You pulled that out of nowhere. Where did that even come from? The secret stash. I didn't even see you get it out.
Well, I'll tell you, my dear. I got a lot of stuff. Okay, that one's... It's like I can't find the end of it. How did I even do this? This one's pretty too, but I don't think the color is as good. I think that brown is still the best, but I think somebody doubled it, tripled it, and it's like the longest piece in the whole universe. That black, though, would be pretty killer. It's a tiny bit thick. The hair clip is good because, if you have this, if you don't put something around it, you're going to be dealing with a big old pile of knots. Ask me how I know. All right, so there's that back. See, with a hair clip, if you have these kind of fibers, you put that hair clip on the end, and then you can just put it somewhere. And usually I hang it. But I was preparing for a show, so sometimes I sell these so that people can put pewter beads on a pretty fiber and not have, they don't, it's like kind of it's a better way than just plain cord. It's like prettier than plain cord. Here's black. This one was tied up with this electric blue. Although that blue looks really good too. You don't need much because what we're doing is we're going to do, Ann says, did I miss Lucky Dip? I didn't Lucky Dip today. This is one from the Pebble Tide Pool dip. And this one hasn't been gotten into, but this one has. So this is the leftovers. That right there is telling me this could be earrings right here. There's a little pink opal. There's a little ruby, kyanite, garnet, aquaterra jasper. There is, looks like that's Mexican fire opal, turquoise, chrysocolla. There's ruby. And there's something else in there. Oh, let's look at this. Kyanite, serpentine, sunstone. They're all a little bit different. That's the good thing about when you get the Lucky Dip is you never know what you're going to get. But the reason they call this one ocean jasper, this is a perfect example of it. Have you ever seen a more oceany ocean jasper? I mean, check that out. Can you believe that's even a real stone? That's not dyed. It looks like that. And for a long time, I thought that wasn't as natural as, I thought maybe it was something treated. And then I found some samples of it, and it's like, I don't know. It's natural. Like this is natural and undyed. This is actually a super good quality. I don't know if you know much about chrysocolla, but this was actually a necklace that I have for many years that I got from Marilyn Burke that I cut up and put into this Lucky Dip. And the quality of this, you can see. So sometimes chrysocolla, let's bring out this chunk here. I was getting ready to cut this. This is a usual type of chrysocolla. Check out that. Sometimes people will call this, they have all different kinds, will argue this type of stone. But the hardness is the real tell because stones have a hardness, I mean, that's why, you can, some things are more expensive. Like a sapphire is hard. It's a very hard to carve stone, which is why the price is so much higher. This piece was considered pretty, but all this white that you're seeing, this is like a type. And that is a good quality. It's dyed, it's not treated or anything, but this is like the better quality. You can see the difference in the quality. And so just like anything, right up here, you can see it's like more white, and down here it's like more like dark. If you were to cut this would be worth more than this end. And that just, and depending on the stones, some places will just throw all the good onto one strand because they cut it in slabs. And a slab is where you cut it so that it's like, I have a slab cutter. I went to go get a new blade, and I was shook when I looked at how much they cost. I was like, when was the last time I bought a blade? Ann says, really economical way to get a variety of stones. Azalea and I were talking about that. If you were to buy like one strand of each to get this, you would be spending at least a couple $100 minimum. And that wouldn't be including the ruby. So slabbing is when you cut it like this. This is a slab. So that you first start with the stone where you cut it down into smaller pieces. You take a hammer or whatever and break it down into more manageable pieces. Like this is considered a manageable piece, but depending on the stone, like this was already slab, but it could be broken down into smaller thicknesses. Like this is considered cab thickness. Like if you were to, when I say cab, that's short for cabochon. And it's what you would do you would like take a magic marker or Sharpie and go in there and trace out what you want and then cut the rest. This is a really beautiful piece of Cheryl white. This isn't dyed. Can you believe that's like, that came out of the ground, that the earth made that? Sometimes I'm so enamored with stones. I'm always showing Azalea. I'm like, Azalea, can you even believe that is natural? I actually, you know what I did? A few years ago, I took some of this and it took me forever, but I made a pigment out of it, and it was too gritty to use. But what color it did make was really pretty, albeit kind of gritty. Anyway, forgot what I was talking about. Chrysocolla. So anyway, there's a lot of good variety in this. I was just mentioning that there is a strand of Maryland Burke Chrysocolla in that blend, a big, juicy, like look at that whole size too. So even one of these on a necklace would be pretty good because you can't get these anymore, especially that color and quality. I mean, that was from easily 25 years ago. Because most of the time, it's like the Chrysocolla that's coming out now is more in this where there's a lot more white. Anne says, how did I miss the Mala Lucky Dip? It sold out. That was during, I think we did that during, during the TGBE, the latest one. We have a new one, and it's super gorgeous. I can't even hardly take it how gorgeous it is. I was looking at it earlier, and I was like, I just want to keep it. My dragon hoarding self was like, no one needs to know. You could just put this in your collection and Azalea will not remember it. You can just make all the necklaces you want with that.
She will not remember.
She will not know. And then I was like, she will know. she will absolutely know. And will say to me, where is it?
Because I need to fill it.
Get that out.
Where'd you
right
put
now.
it?
So this is a piece of agate. Look at this piece. It's like milk glass, but that's actually a natural stone. And that is the same stone. You know, I can't think the name of it. It's right on the tip of my tongue. If anyone remember, it has, if you identify agate where it's milky blue with touches of orange, I can't think the name. It's like right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, there's some of that. This is what it looks like rough. It's kind of beautiful on its own. And it has that sort of, I love it. I'm a big fan of agate. My favorite agate of all is called iris agate. And that comes out of Indonesia. And that has kind of like this amazing rainbow shimmer when you look at it in the sunlight. It's really hard to photograph. Anyway, I bought a few pieces of it not that long ago. I bought cabs of it. And it was gorgeous. I haven't, and you know, it's the funny, I don't think I ever put them for sale. Oh, I meant to show this too. So if you got, y'all know, remember we were talking about the mini Lucky Dip where it was the tiny stones, and like I was saying how I use it. Here is another example of how I use it. So I call this the sugar technique. Add a little sugar on there and get yourself some azúcar. So you can see that I'm not afraid to mix and match when it comes to metal thicknesses. This is hand cast. I put little stones in there, little topazes, and this is what's called a basha bead from named Basha. I think she makes them. I used to carry them, and I'd buy them. I only sold like 5 of them because the rest are in my collection right now. I shouldn't say that. Zellie's looking at me like, what? But I'm obsessed because she made them to look like old Roman glass. So they're ultra. I'm so into like teeny stones. If you look at it from a distance, it just looks like in there. So this one right here is worse. So I'll add them to little head pins and sprinkle them through right there too. See, there's a lot of spaces. So it's like in all the connections that I can add it. Like this stone got fractured, so I was like, I'm not pitching. I'm going to use it. So this stone didn't survive, but I put it on my own personal necklace because I still love it. And I carved these stones that are on it. This one was drilled by my friend Gary Wilson. He did this one, but I carved this one, this I drilled. That's a basha bead. This is also a basha bead. and I made this chain. I made this chain out of fine silver wire. And fine silver wire is so awesome to make chain because what you do is you just get your jump ringer or a pencil. In this case, I used a pencil for this width and wrap the pencil, then cut it with my cutter or what's called a jump ringer. It basically cutting a spring to jump rings, and then you can with fine silver you just need to get that connection really nice and snug and then melt it, and it just melts together like magic. And so I made it adjustable by doing this, so I can I can put it right over here if I want it to be a little bit shorter. So anyway, that's I call this one my treasure necklace with some, it's actually kind of heavy. It's actually really heavy, so I don't wear it all that often. This is a piece of moldavite. I got this one a long time ago, and I carved this stone, and it's been on this necklace. This is a star-cut sapphire. This was a nodule that I just drilled. It already came like this. Isn't that crazy? They just grow like that. I mean, it did need a little bit. It did need a little bit of shaping right there. I mean, it had a little bit of rough I had to remove, but essentially it was that shape. This was by Pat Jordan. Sticking Stones is what his company was called. I don't know if he's still making, but that's one of my favorites of his. This one's one I did of Sunstone. So anyway, this is a lot of juicy goodness. There's that piece of rainbow tourmaline or watermelon tourmaline. And then more of that addition. That's what I love to use. So anyway, that's a good use of the mini Lucky Dip. If you're scratching your head and you're like, what am I going to do with it? Get yourself some head pins or wire and string them onto something bigger. And it will add volume and sparkle to something. Like these shapes are kind of rustic. So having that little extra sparkle in the, just like almost like glitter, but natural glitter and not getting everywhere. So there's that. Thought I'd show that for those that were wondering what all to do with it. All right, so I have this here. Let's see. I'm going to burn this off. Where's my thread burner? I have a thread burner over here. Oh, Anne, thank you. Just ordered a Pebble Lucky Dip. I'm glad I didn't miss the most recent Mala. Do you know when will be offered? Pretty soon, Anne. Pretty soon.
Which one?
The newest one. I got to show a picture. I got to show it. It's insane. There's Larimar in there. There is Sapphire. It's pretty luxurious. I need a paper towel. You got a paper towel over there? Some of this is super gunked up. This is a thread called the Thread Zapper 2.
My dirty paint towel.
Kate gave me this one. Kate from beadshop.com. This thing comes off and you can replace it. It's basically like a little soldering iron. So I'm going to heat up the tip. See how it has all that melty? You don't want that gunking it up. Do this outside if you can, because this is kind of stinky. So you just have to replace the battery every once in a while. It hasn't been turned on in a minute, so hopefully make sure that connection is in there. And I'll let it get warm. Is it even getting warm? Doesn't seem to be. Maybe the battery needs to be changed because it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. Usually it's like, let me just check if I even have a battery in it. Oh, Connie says we're breaking up or blurry.
She's the only one that said anything about that.
No, Mary says we're breaking up. And Mary and they're both on different things.
It's probably the Wi-Fi then. Probably the internet with the weather outside.
I don't know what's going on here. How can I get that out? Look at this, Azalea. What does that mean?
What?
Look how I can't get this battery out. Feels like I just changed this battery not that long ago. Well, anyway, I've had this for a really long time. And I need to figure out how to get that battery. It seems like it's stuck in there. Cecilia says it's fine. And on Facebook. Could be. I'm not really sure. If I don't have any idea how some of that stuff, like why I've been doing this for 5 years now, and no, there's no rhyme or reason. I guess that battery's done. So anyway, I got to do this, and I just used this not even that long ago. I got to figure that out. So that's a drag. All right, you got a lighter over there?
No, you should have one right next to you. You usually have a lighter on you.
I know. I have carried a lighter with me.
Is this one still good? Just wait, that one's doesn't. It's not so good. Gotta find a fresh one.
This one doesn't. Oh, Ann says it. Careful, looks like it leaked. Careful that it'll burn your skin. I don't want it to burn my skin. This one's not good. Isn't this a cool lighter cover? I got this. I collect this. This. It's called Copper Tourist. I just love it. It's heavy though, so I don't carry it in my pocket. Just for the house. All right, this part's tricky. You all know I hate this part. Okay, so if you have your thread burner, just use that. But if you don't, then you're going to have to do it the scary way, which is this way. So get yourself ready. And I usually prepare, like I have it sitting right there, right? Okay, get ready. It happens fast. You want to draw a bead. And you don't have to use your thumb, but sometimes I use my thumb. You can always put like a little leather thing on your finger. I did that for a while when I was making like a million of these necklaces before I discovered the bead zapper too. So, and then you can see, I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of small. But say you don't love that. It melted it in there, and it doesn't look all that awesome. So you know what you can do? You can get yourself some of these, what you call it, crimp covers, but that might be massive. This is kind of king size to put on there. Let's see how it looks. We can take it off if it looks not so good. That's not bad. So if you're going to put one of these, I think it looks pretty good. Let's just go ahead and seal it. So it has a big gap. Now here's what I like to do. I get this, my favorite little pliers. These are from Zoran. You can see they're kind of chewed up. Me and Max, we kind of fight over these a little bit. Okay, so you can. I'm going to grab a paper towel here. This one is always. It's
my dingy paint towel.
Her paint paper towel. And I'm going to put it on the edge of this so I don't scratch up the bead, because sometimes you can scratch it up. Now I have probably upstairs one of these where I've dipped it in Plasti Dip. Sometimes though, let's just make the edge. I want it so you can see it and see what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and do this. And squeeze. And then see, did I ding it? I don't think so. And I'm going to put it back on there. And then I'm going to rotate. Give it another roll. Get behind it. Okay, I'm chasing it around now at this point. Okay, so I got a little bit left, and then it doesn't look like I've dinged it up too badly at all, actually. So I'm going to just go in and gently, ever so gently, try to close that Pac-Man mouth. And I hit it from the front like this. There we go. And so it's closed up. And that's how you get, they can cover your knot, so it's a little more finished. You can also open up one of those Karen Hill Tribe beads if you want silver. I don't know if they make these in fine metal. I think they just make them in plated. I actually haven't seen them if there's in another metal. So that's one way. That looks pretty good. And then you could take it a step further, and then either put a button on this end, which I'm not going to, and be cute is added beading this. This would be pretty. I actually love that story. And then you can get a little bit of interest and just either wire wrap that loop, seed bead it, do wandering needle necklace where you have a seed bead loaded on a beading needle and go through this and just basically stud it. That looks really cool. I've done a little bit of it where you can see, where you can kind of hide the thread in the middle. So because this is a kind of a rolled piece of silk. And so you could actually put seed beads on this and sew them onto it. Or wrap them around this part. There's a couple where you can just tie it. I'm not going to just tie it because that's, to me, it's not, it doesn't look as finished because I like it to look finished. See how it looks. Okay, I can go over here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Or you could get some other type of situation, more beads. Just depends. Soft flex with beads, seed beads, or you know what? Here's another way. And I briefly considered this, which was to add seed beads all the way up and then add a clasp if you wanted to. That's another idea. So, or you could even separate these two guys if you didn't want to do, and then do 2 layers. There's a couple ways. There's always more than one way. Because remember, this is 2 threads that are together. So you could, in theory, break that up, and you can just, it's like, I don't know, it's like a lot of potential, all kinds of potential. But I will say, I love the feeling of when a necklace is knotted. It feels kind of magical, like there's a kind of an energy to it, as opposed to putting it on cord, just cord and not knotting it, if that makes sense. This just feels kind of, it feels more secure. It just has a great kind of lithesome, just really delightful. I love it. And so I'm going to make this, I'm going to just add these guys on there. It'll take me like 2 minutes to do that. I'll just do it right now. I'll tell you what I've been doing all week. I've been working on my cover for my game. You guys know, if you've been following me for a minute, you know that I've been working on this board game that features my favorite animal, a frog. I mean, I have another game that I'm working on, which features my all-time most favorite animal, which is, of course, a cat. Because a cat is pretty much a perfect creature. I mean, no one can convince me that it's like it's evolved perfectly to have humans care for it and feed it and do whatever it needs. Live my life so my cat has a good life. I'm sure I'm not the only person that's like that.
Honey.
My children work so that my cat can have a good life. Isn't that right, Azalea?
Yes.
I'm laughing like it's a joke, but it's a true story. Oh, I'm going to show it. I'm going to hurry up and do this last bit. You guys ever seen me thread some seed beads? Because that's what's happening right now. It's a super useful tutorial. Like struggling. It's like black seed beads. They're all a little bit different. It's like challenge accepted. It's like working with black yarn and you're trying to use it or do a tutorial with it. You can't even see what you're doing hardly. Like these are kind of sparkly and black, kind of hard to see. You can't, and also you can't count it and be like, okay, you'll need 3 of those on that side, 3 on that side, because these are all a little bit different. So I'm doing it by the length. I think that looks about right. Compare. I need a couple more beads. I like this coloration. I could have gone this. I think this would have looked a little bit better. These are more bronzy. But anyway, I think it'll be good. And look at this. See, this is what I'm talking about with the bead hole. Look at the size of that bead hole. It's like super small. It's like, how did that even get in there? But let's see if it works. And it works. And then some of them are really big. So these wouldn't be great for knotting because your bead holes are kind of all over the place. Probably swallow up some of those knots. I think that's pretty good. They don't have to be exact. I don't know. I think that looks pretty close. Just as long as it's close. Maybe one more. Oh, hello, Nancy. Thank you for joining us, my friends. I'm glad I can see the comments today. That was kind of brutal not being able to see them last week with Azalea reading to them over text and having about 2 seconds to read it. That was kind of not that fun to do because if I didn't read it fast enough, then it was like it didn't even happen because then you can't go back out and check it because then you're offline. So Wendy says, did you have a fun trip, Azalea?
Yeah, I did. I got to see my cousin.
Sam, that's Sam's my other son, how I call him my other son. What'd you guys do? You went to did you see the Barbie exhibit?
No.
Oh, there was supposed to be a good Barbie exhibit in Cincinnati.
No, we went to the, we were knitting and crocheting, and we went to a yarn store, and we went to Half Price Books, and we went to the mall, and we attended my aunt's crochet class at IKEA. We went to IKEA twice, and then we went to the art museum, the Taft Art Museum. It was awesome.
I don't think I've been to that art museum. How would you rank that?
It was free, so and it was like a lot of oil paintings, mostly oil paintings.
Do you remember any of the art that you saw?
There was a Rembrandt.
There was a Rembrandt.
There was. I have a picture of it. I sent it to you.
I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, it's the one where the dude has the very well. I can't really describe because I think a lot of the paintings have like a lot of them have the lacy ruffs that are starched, but like
that's the time period.
It was really cool. There were portraits. There was a lot of portraits of like Regency and mostly like there's like Georgian women that I really liked looking at. I like those. It was a good one.
Yeah, your dad mentioned there was a Singer Sargent, and I was like, what? I love John Singer Sargent. That Madam X is at the Chicago Art Institute, and I think that it's really a beautiful painting.
Yeah, I had a good time.
That sounds fun. You know what, y'all? I had a pretty good time having my staycation. That was good. So good. Love a staycation. Y'all might be like, why would you do that and not go somewhere? And you know what? I didn't hardly leave the house. Usually I'm riding my bike and going all over the place. That I just stayed in the house. And you know what I did? I painted my butt off. I'm going to show you here in a second after I put this bead crimper cover on there. Oh, get in there, you. I do one of them that's like, okay, it's going to slide all over the paper towel. So we're just going to risk marring the holy hell out of it. But you know what? I don't really usually mar it. Sometimes you can actually cut your thread if it's too sharp and you go get. What am I trying to say? If you close this onto the middle of a knot, you could actually cut it because it's like a cutter. Then this functions as a cutter. Ask me how I know that one. I tightened it and then the whole thing fell off. And I was like, oh dear, I guess you cannot do that mid-knot. If you make a great big knot, these are not good for that if you do, and you try to get right on top of it. This has a tiny bit of a gap that I have here. tiny bit. I'll just tighten that up. I can't deal with that really. There we go. And there's a couple tool marks, but nothing noticeable. Oh, Nancy, I love that. I know the painting you're talking about with the lit paper lamps. Yeah. All right. Oh, Nancy says, would a bead spinner, stringing bowl, and curved needle help? No, because you're not going to use a curved needle. What you're going to use is, I'm using this stuff here. So the curved needle, this is already my needle. This is the nylon that I'm stringing. If you're using bead cord, then yes, you could use that. But these, if I use Delicas or any other bead that has a really big, nice hole, then there's no problem. It goes really fast. It's super easy. So here's this. And you know what you can do if you want? Here's another thing that's super easy. Okay, we'll just pretend here. I don't need to have this one. I have this. I got that brown out, but then it's like I got to measure out. So this is already cut. So we'll just leave it. All right. Get in there, you. So here's what you can do like this. And so say you want it to be like this long, you can do this with it and then tie it to whatever you're comfortable with. So then it's not, you know what I mean? You're not, or you could tie it from the other side and it's like this. This is only one idea though, so y'all don't be like, what kind of crap is this? Be like, hey, what's Thornton trying to spin here? Do that. See what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm putting down? Now, that's kind of an inelegant way to do it, but you can see the potential of what we're trying to achieve here. So if you do this, you could do wrap bracelet. You've just made it a little more where you could put whatever you feel like. You could add another necklace. You know those modular necklaces I was making? Same thing. But with the added benefit of this being completely knotted, hand knotted on nylon. So it's a little stronger. Got a little bit of silk on this edge. And it can be cute. You could do it where it's not, you don't have to tie the sloppiest bow you can like I did. You can make it where it has a nice looking bow and have it right down here. So it's like a design element. Pretend like you wanted it like that. Or even more, take this and put a bead on the end of it. Put a bead on it. You guys remember that from Portlandia? Put a bird on it. Just put a bird on it. I got to show that to Azette because she's
seen it.
You've seen it? Put a bird on it.
Yeah, Jess showed it to us a long time ago. I remember.
Oh, so because you were like, what do you guys keep saying that? Sometimes we'll say something over and over and over to each other until Azalea gets irritated. That's how that came about. So, anyway. All right, look at that. That looks good. Now all you need to do is add a bead to it. Like this. You put a bead. And that's what's left. So there's this left over for making other things. And this, I have a whole other necklace. So yeah, you know what I could do? I could add put in some of my painted pewter. Let's see what would match it. I painted these up. I was going to put them on necklaces for the big crafty, but I just didn't get around to doing all these. I did about twice this. Put a bead on it, that's what Connie says. That's the name of my business. Put a bead on it. Love it. You know what? That's probably, I had it subconsciously in my mind because I was saying that back and forth to Azalea. Put a bead on it. Just put a bead on it. Makes it better. This is one of my newest frogs, and you guys are probably so tired of me with my frog action. Look how pretty that would be on there. This one I just painted it with sealant and gold Primatech, not Primatech. I can never think the name of those freaking Jacquard powders. They're by Jacquard. Does anyone remember what they're called? They were sitting out. Azalea, do you know what I'm talking about? That powder, the powdered pigments that you get at the art supply store. One of y'all out there can remember the name of it, but it has a name like that. Not Primatech, but you know, Primatech's the watercolor. It's like that. Pigment powders. You can get them at Michael's and different places. Melanie says, sorry I've been so quiet working on a silver clay ring, lol. My favorite thing to do is craft while watching Green Girls. Wow, thank you. Thank you, Melanie. I like that story. Or this one would be a good one. With a little dingle dangle right at the end. Or this one. This is pretty new. I've been putting this on everything. And I designed this bead so that it was like, it's supposed to go on a treasure necklace. That's why I put the hole right there, if you're wondering. But Pearlex, thank you, Karen. Gosh, can't believe that's so obvious. Thank you. I don't know why I can't remember Pearlex. Jeez. Yep, I agree. The frog would look good. Where'd it go? I have another frog. Listen, y'all. I have made so many frogs in the last, this is all within the last. Look at this. I just looked down. I was like, I've made so many frogs. This teeny frog here. This one is new within the last 2 years. This is actually kind of old within the last 5 years. But this, pretty recent. And I know there's another one in here. I must have used it. Anyway. This little whisk patty. Cute. Like putting their little feet. So that would look good too. And this is some pigment paint and sealant. And, I just hit the back with a scrubbing sanding sponge just to get that little bit of goodie, And check out how good this looks with where you do the dry brush. Doesn't that look good? And then if it gets any of if you see any of it, it'll be silver. All right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, I forgot to show this. As I was like, might as well show it. I will show it. So this is a long project I've been working on. So here's the cover. I'm not done yet. We'll start here. And this is so cute. I'm working on my staycation. There's little tadpoles swimming. So this is watercolor and gouache. Isn't that cute? So cute. That's a froglet one. They actually kind of have that look. Their tail suctions up into their body as they get older. This, you probably have heard me say like a million times, it doesn't matter what paper you're using, just get out there and paint. While that is 100% true, it's better to make something than to wait around until your expensive paper shows up. But if you have nice, thick, good paper, which this is a very nice paper, I found it at an estate sale for like $5 per stack. It was like the best day of my life. But this is a really thick, delightful, it's a hot press, means it was basically ironed and has a nice soft, it's like practically like fabric. When you use a paper like this, the biggest, most delightful part is that you can kind of lift. So this is lifting. You probably know if you do any watercolor painting, they tell you don't do this, but I use a lot of white. That's technically cheating, but ask me how I feel about rules. I'm just, I don't care about art rules. You can lift it with a wet brush and a bunch of the stuff will come, lift off the paper. But then, like I had to lift a lot for this foot here, or paw hand. I don't know what's it, frog hand. Like it was more turned in. I thought it'd be cuter, spread out like that. And so this, I don't know if you can tell, but I've repainted this a couple times by lifting it. And I basically scrubbed the paper to lift it. And then once it dried, I was able to go in and paint on top of it. But when you have a really good thick paper that's practically like a board almost, there's a lot more that you can kind of scrub away. And then it's like one of the painting techniques is to lift watercolor. And see here, this was like a Pyroline green. It's a super dark green. And it stains. It's high staining. But what I was doing was I was getting some really beautiful passages by lifting some of the color. This might not, right now you're probably like, what? That doesn't look like good. But you can keep lifting. I don't know if you can see that. I have water over here that I'm using to lift it and feather it out. And so I can get these, once it dries, it gets this sort of look to it. See, you can't really tell from this, but I'm able to lift it just gently. That's good paper. So good paper, that's like the nicest paper. You usually cannot do that with student grade. That you can't get away with that. And that's the main and biggest difference. Is like student grade is for like messing around and having a good time and making, you're not planning. It's like a one shot, like spontaneous. You're not going back in and expecting to lift and peel back the paint. But with really good paper, you can do that. So that's the big difference with that. So anyway, this is a project that I'm working on. Here it is, the cover of my game. And here's one of the cards. It's like you flip it. And then I have some the actual pieces I've already made. I made them a long time ago. But anyway, that's what I wanted to show y'all today. That was pretty fun. What am I doing here? So I'm going to flip the camera around. I kind of made a mess of it, didn't I? Oh, well. Oh. Let me see what I see here. Melanie's going to see her friends. And then I see you're going to see family in Wisconsin. And Nancy says, I just bought a 48-piece Kuretake watercolor set. Oh, nice. That's delightful. I love that brand. I think that they have some granulating colors from not Daniel Smith, the Kuretake from St. Louis Art Supply. And I had those in my wish list for a minute. All right, I'm going to change the camera. Oh, thank you, Jeanette. Oh, I see some comments that I missed. I love your frogs. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm a big frog person. It's like my favorite animal. Oh, Nancy, what are you talking about? How do you make the Pearl X pigments more pearl? I use Vintage has a sealant, but you can add any kind of the sealant of your choice that you like. If I'm understanding that question. All right, I'm going to flip this. All right, my friends. Thank y'all for joining me on our quest to make something pretty this evening. So this is the necklace I made. I could try it on. But I'm gonna have to try and make that bow again. I'm gonna put that bow on. Make it loose. So if it's longer, obviously you have more opportunity the longer it is. What other? I saw some more. All right. Permanent? Is that what you're trying to say, Nancy? Permanent? It's pretty permanent, depending on what you put with it. Now, depending on how long I want this to be about right here. I want it to sit right there. So, you could put just like something cute on the end of that. I don't want it to be too long. Or you could knot it on each side so that you have even more instead of just one single piece, because that basically I just tied a knot, and that's not what I was hoping to do. That looks like the knot on that was not what I wanted. But I will say the silk is So if you tie one on either side, you have more opportunity. Like I just didn't want to cut it. I didn't feel like cutting it because I want to sew something on there. But as a temporary solution, works pretty well. And now it's longer because otherwise, without the silk, this is how long it would be. Ugh, I hate that length. It's not for me. Azella probably like that length. I'm like, it's too, it's going to cut off my chi. Not really cutting it, but there you go. All right. That looks pretty good. All right, my friends. Oh, thank you, Mary. Mary says, love your painting. Nancy's, love your glasses. Oh, thanks. Those are from Peepers. You can get them at Whole Foods. They're readers, so they're pretty comfortable. And also, they don't break the bank because I'm always leaving my glasses somewhere. I have like 10 pairs of them. I'm in the car, in every vehicle, in my purses. They're everywhere. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to go do something fun, like work on my painting some more. All right. I will show some more work on that painting here on Sunday. Thank you all for joining me. We'll have another tutorial and either a live sale or a lucky dip, depending if I can find more beads to go with it this week. I might do something, I don't know. We'll have to think about it and see. You can always give me some feedback. And Tina says, did you feed Marty already? He looks tired. No, he didn't get all of his. Watch this, how fast. He kind of perked up. He didn't even see how long it takes him to notice that I'm doing this, squeezing this. Let's see if he notices it. I think he's already noticed it. Give it a stretch, my son. I know he acts like like he reacted like, oh, he's so hungry.
Look how big his feet are.
I do feed this cat, y'all. My big boy. Honey. He does that thing with his paws where his legs start to clutch with his feet. He's like, don't touch my feet while I'm trying to do something, Mom. What a good kitty. Good job, Marty. He's my little studio helper. Anne says, free the chi. My chi is very sensitive. Azalea, don't roll your eyes at your mother. I can see you.
Goofy.
Not goofy. All right, that's my boy. All right, friends. We love you out there and hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. We will see you again on Sunday. And y'all have a